October is one of those months where there's just a lot of games happening. There's usually a lot of gaming news, there's usually a lot of games that release, and this year that was really no different. This looks like one of those, I look like I'm being held hostage here, I promise, and I would have more in the background for this, but we're getting ready to move. So just to give you an idea, in the last 2 weeks or so, we've gotten Metaphor ReFantazio, we got Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and we got A Quiet Place: The Road Ahead. We've gotten a lot of games in the last little bit. Unfortunately, I'm not able to play all of them at once. I'm really not able to play most of them in general in the month of October, but luckily I've been playing a lot of Metaphor, and by a lot I mean I've been playing about an hour a day for the last 5 days, and for an Atlas game that's not a lot at all. So this isn't a full review, more of an early impressions type of video, okay? And I'm being held hostage to do it. Really quick, before we start with anything, I just want to give a huge shout out to community member Cord. Cord is someone who I met through Alex, aka Podcast Now's comment section, and literally just bought me the game because he wanted me to feel excitement for the game, and he knew I was excited for the game, I should say, and wanted me to enjoy it. So Cord, I'm still so fucking thankful. It's crazy to me. The other thing I want to lay out is that, just so you know, straight up, this entire video is coming from someone who doesn't play JRPGs or RPGs in general that often. I'm not someone who plays those games a lot. I typically stick to very linear single-player experiences that I can knock out in a couple days, or live service multiplayer games that me and my friends can play over a long period of time. For example, games like Dragon Ball Sparking Zero are usually a lot more up my alley. Games like A Quiet Place: The Road Ahead, because I love horror games so much, that game is a lot more up my alley than Metaphor is. But Metaphor might just be my game of the year. This game is so amazing, and again, I'm like not even 2% done with the game, maybe 2%, but I'm probably not more than 5% done with the game. Another thing is I've played some Atlas games before. I've played a decent amount of Persona 3 Reloaded through Game Pass, and I have played all the way through Persona 5. So when this game was coming out, I was in that big, loud group of people saying that it looked a lot like a Persona game with some changes here and there, but besides that, I was going in completely blind. So I was really expecting a smaller Persona-like game. I was expecting this to basically be Persona 6 with a different nameplate. And man, I was so wrong. Don't get me wrong, love Persona 5, love Persona 3 Reloaded. I think those games are awesome. I think Atlas does typically a really good job with most of their games, and from what I've seen online, that's kind of true. Just depends on who you are, right? Games are subjective. But I've loved looking at people who have played this game and who have played like every Atlas game online, and they are raving about how this game is just such a blend of all of Atlas's previous successes, which I think is such a great thing. This game to me does not feel like Persona that much. I mean, obviously I'd say the button inputs for turning on your archetype during combat is very similar because it's the same button input defaultly as it is for Persona. But besides that, to me, this game feels almost completely different, and I absolutely love it for that. I wasn't going into this game with very high expectations, so that could be why this game is so high on my list so far for games that have come out this year. But let me just kind of get into it a little. Also, I'm playing on PC, so I've ran into literally no issues this far in terms of quality of life things. I think the game looks absolutely amazing. I've been running it anywhere from high to the max graphical settings, and it's not been taxing on my PC whatsoever. So I think that's a very good thing. But let's get into like the actual game for a second. If you don't know, Metaphor is a fantasy JRPG. I want to say. Again, don't come at me with stakes and knives. I don't know my RPGs that much. But this game takes place in a fantasy world. There's different races of characters. The very like evil monstrosities in this game are human, by the way, which is just such a great thing. But this game is very storybook-like, and there's a very big storybook element that plays into the overall narrative of the game, which I'm not going to really talk about because this is one of those games where you really need to experience it for yourself. I know there was a beta for the game, so a lot of people got a feeling for it then. I didn't play the beta because I wanted to go into this game super light, or not beta, what the fuck, demo, sorry. But I think this game is so much fun. It looks great. I think the art style here is so good. It just works. It's tweaked a little bit from games like Persona and other Atlas titles, but I think that this art style that they have here is just done so well. This game is gorgeous to look at, whether you're in a dungeon, whether you're in the roadmap of the traveling from destination to destination, whether you're setting up boot camp. I think it just looks good all around. The thing that looks the best though are definitely the animated cutscenes. I think that the team here, they just need to be put in charge of big IP anime games. Give me an Atlas One Piece game, give me an Atlas Jujutsu Kaisen game, give me an Atlas Naruto game, give me any big IP, Attack on Titan, I don't care. Just give me big anime IP games, give them to Atlas because I think they do really good. The voice acting across the board is phenomenal. I have one save, my main save, where I've been playing through the game in a certain type of way in the original Japanese voice acting with English subtitles, and then another save file with the original English voice acting. So I think both casts do a very good job at playing the characters. I think that it's very, very clear that pretty much everybody, at least to the point of where I'm at and where it's been introduced in terms of characters, is giving it their best. The story of this game too is just gripping to me. I'm a sucker for fantasy, okay? I think fantasy is a fantastic genre and Atlas does it really well. For the gist of it, there is this kingdom that is going through a lot of turmoil. There is a bad guy who is taking advantage and creating this turmoil. And turmoil? I can't say that word. Why am I even trying? There's an evil guy who's taking advantage of the chaos and causing the chaos, and you are trying to stop him. But the protagonist here is a lot different from someone like Joker in Persona 5, where for one, this protagonist talks a pretty good amount. This protagonist is also vastly, like very, very drastically racially profiled for the first, like, at least from the part that I'm at in this game, and it caught me so off guard. Essentially, your character is this type of race that the rest of the world looks down upon very, very heavily. You're essentially a bad omen to the rest of the population. I mean, in the first like boss fight kind of dungeon area, there are literally knights that are dying, and you go up to them to talk to them or to save them or to get information out of them, and before they die, in their last breath, they are roasting you because of your race. They're saying that it's your fault, you must have caused it, and it's, to me, it was really eye-opening, and I was not expecting that to be a part of the game, but it was done so well. And it still happens. I mean, you can literally just be walking down the street to get from point A to point B, and side characters will be having a conversation about something completely different, and then they would see you and start shit talking you. And it's just, I don't know, something about the way the dialogue is written here. There is a lot of points where it's just like, especially for these side conversations, where it's just like, yeah, this is just kind of boring side dialogue, kind of typical stuff. But I think that for the most part, when it involves the protagonist and the main party and the main story, it's done really well. This story is not something that will surprise you, I think, for the most part. I mean, I do have some theories that I think near the end of the game there's going to be a lot of twists and turns, and people are probably going to spoil it in the comment section. If you want to, I don't care. I'm not someone who really cares about spoilers, so if you do, probably don't look in the comment section of this video. But I do think that the main protagonist that they set up at the beginning of the game is not going to be the main, like, behind the scenes protagonist for the rest of it. But for what they set it up incredibly well. well, in my opinion. The soundtrack here too is just so good. So good, man.
あなたはやがて王となる定めの子。今は分からず、いずれすべてが回り出す。道は二つに一つ。
I mean, is that surprising though? I don't think so. Persona music is always, it's always a bop. And here it's just another bop. I don't know. When I try to think about things that either bother me about this game, I really can't. I mean, I like a lot. Obviously, in the beginning of the game, they stop you quite a bit, and they hold your hand for a lot of the beginning. But once you get through a lot of the, I'd say, prologue of the game, it's pretty much as open as you would think it would be. I think it just works really well. To the point where I'm at, the day-night cycle and the time cycle in the game hasn't affected me too much. And that's just because the missions and the side missions that I've gotten so far don't have a time limit to them. It's essentially I can do them whenever. So and that's more of a me being in this exact point in the game than anything else. But yeah, my early impressions is that I definitely understand why this game had a 93, 94 on Metacritic, why people are absolutely raving about it. I think it just works. Everything about this game works, and it works really well. I'm not going to do a full review of the game because usually at the end of the year when we get to the Game Awards, I do at least I did it last year, where I do a long video, almost a 20-30 minute video going through the entire Game Awards list with you guys. This year I might live stream that. I don't know. It just kind of depends on the state of the channel at that point in the next couple months here, which is crazy to think that this year's already coming to an end. But yeah, if you've played Metaphor ReFantazio, let me know in the comment sections down below. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are depending on which part of the game you're at. Obviously, everybody's going to have a different opinion, and as long as you're respectful to my opinion, I'm going to respect your opinion. That's just how this channel goes. Again, I want to give a huge shout out to Cord for buying me this game. I've not been given a code for any games that I ever review on the channel. Even if I was, I'd be extremely honest, and my bias here is probably a lot stronger than it would be if this was, say, a sponsored video, because somebody completely random who had nothing to do with development literally just bought me the game. So I really appreciate it again, Cord, really do. And if you're new here, stick around. Why not? Or if you don't want to stick around, let me know in the comment section down below. This is a different type of video. I know Metaphor is making me feel some type of way, so I wanted to kind of switch it up and insert myself in a video, because I used to have myself be in the videos a while ago. I think the last time I did it might have been the Sea of Stars video, or it was during the Insomniac leak. I really can't remember. It was one of the two though. But yeah, if you like this newer style, I don't know, we'll see how this video does. I might just go back to doing the commentary type style, even though I know this was kind of intercut with that. Let me know what you think. I appreciate you guys so much for all of the support recently too. We are inching closer to 1,000 subscribers. I'm trying to upload more consistently. I'm going to be recording probably another video tomorrow that will go up on the channel within the next couple days. I do want to keep the uploads to around 2 to 3 days apart, just to let you guys breathe a little bit before I start live streaming. I do have a live stream idea planned, mostly circled around a Pokemon game. So we're gonna wait for that though. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. I don't know how to end the video when there's a face cam, so I'm just gonna wave. Goodbye. Are we fading to black yet? I hope so.